Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Tuesday, the 28th day of January 2014. Welcome aboard to another 2-hour live presentation of Fire Your MD Now. And it's Tuesday, so you know what that means. We have a new segment that we roll out every Tuesday called What's Up With That? Today we're talking about Lunesta, the pharmacological name. You ready for this? Ezopiclone. How about that? Don't you love those fancy schmancy organic biochemical names? By the way, names of drugs in the world of science are named the way that they're named because of their chemical structure. Biochemists and organic chemists and pharmacologists who work with molecular structures have given a nomenclature to make it easier for them to understand, just by definition, by enumeration of the name. Well, kind of sort of get you in the ballpark of what the drug is. Lunesta, it's a non-benzodiazepine hypnotic, which is a little bit more effective for insomnia than placebo. And we're going to talk about this in a minute. Here are some of the common side effects. Headaches, chest pain, cold-like symptoms, pain, dry mouth, drowsiness, lightheadedness, dizziness, upset stomach, drowsiness during the daytime, decreased sex drive, painful menstrual cycles, heartburn. Less common side effects: rashes, itches, swelling of the hands, feet, ankles, lower legs, back pain. And psychiatric adverse side effects include aggressive behavior, confusion, agitation, auditory and visual hallucinations, worsening of a depression that's already present, suicidal ideation, depersonalization, and amnesia. If a person doesn't sleep immediately after taking Lunesta, or if they get up shortly after taking the meds, they may experience dizziness, lightheadedness, hallucinations, seeing things or hearing things that are not there, as well as problems with coordination and memory. There's controversy over this drug, although you wouldn't know it were you to just listen to the television ads, right, with the little, moth flying by the light of the moon and, the sexy English voice. Is it an English voice or is it just a sexy woman's voice telling you how great Lunesta is and isn't it wonderful to sleep at night, yada, 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 yada. Well, most people believe what they hear on TV, and most people are just plain too tired from working 3 jobs just to keep a roof over their head now, right? So, you work a 14, 15-hour day, and then you come home and you just want to relax, and you're watching your favorite TV show, and up pops 3 or 4 or 5 Lunesta commercials or direct-to-consumer ads for pharmaceutical drugs, and you're in a half of a daze anyway. And so you just kind of take it all in, and then you become programmed to believe that, well, look, the MDs who you think are smarter than you are and the pharmacologists who you think are smarter than you are dreamed up this drug, and they're spending millions of dollars to advertise for it. It must be a great thing, right? Well, not so much, because remember, the MDs have maintained their position at the top of the medical food chain, not by virtue of their effectiveness, not by virtue of their intellect, not by virtue of the cost effectiveness of their treatments, but by keeping everybody else off of the playing field. They have out-regulated every other medical profession. It's illegal for me as a naturopathic physician to practice medicine in 36 states in the United States. Illegal. And my hands are extremely tied in the 16 states that we are allowed to practice medicine. We've got a pretty good law in Hawaii. We've got a pretty good law in Alaska. We have a pretty good law in Washington and Oregon. But everywhere else, man, and arguably perhaps Connecticut and Arizona. But, there is no free medical market in the United States. The MDs maintain their position at the top by keeping everybody else off of the playing field. Now, the average Joe Schmo from Idaho doesn't know this. They think that their medical doctor knows what's best for them, and they just leave it at that. Well, when an industry is monopolized exclusively, corruption is soon to follow, and the pharmaceutical industry is rampant with corruption. The Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine published a paper which carried out a systematic review of the medical literature concerning insomnia medications, including Lunesta. The review found that almost all trials of sleep disorders and drugs were sponsored by the pharmaceutical industry, the very same people who made the drug. It also found that the odds ratio for finding favorable results in industry-sponsored trials, which means if a pharmaceutical agency sponsored a drug trial, they were 3.5 times more likely to have a favorable result than if an independent party did the same thing. 3.5 times, or 3.6 times higher. That's 300 times higher. So if a drug company sponsors a research article or a research project on Lunesta, the drug company that makes Lunesta does a research project on Lunesta, they are 300.6 times. The chances are 300.6 times higher that that company, that report will have a favorable result, as opposed to just an independent doctor somewhere or an independent research organization doing a trial of the same drug. The paper also found that there is little research into hypnotics that is independent from the drug manufacturers, which means that the only people researching this stuff are the people that make the drugs. They've cooked the books. The author was concerned that there was no discussion in the medical literature of adverse effects of sedative hypnotics, such as significantly increased levels of infection, increased rates of cancers, increased mortality in Lunesta and other sedative hypnotic drugs, and an overemphasis on the positive effects. The author concluded by stating that major hypnotic trials are needed to more carefully study potential adverse effects of hypnotics, such as daytime impairment, infection, cancer, and death, and the resultant imbalance of benefits and risks. For goodness sakes. This means that the people that make Lunesta have cooked the books on Lunesta. They only publish the beneficial research. God only knows what really happened behind closed doors. God only knows how they tweaked the research, if in fact they did. But, they cook the books. There's no objectivity present here. Now, somebody does come along who's objective and says, look, you're cooking the books. This stuff is dangerous, and it needs to be looked at, and nothing happens clinically. Nothing happens clinically. There are no clinical trials. There's no congressional hearing. There's no outrage. There ain't no nothing. And it's a big, bad voodoo daddy, because one of the major side effects here, adverse effects, is suicidal ideation. I want to try to find a reference for this, suicidal ideation. Overdose, pharmacology. Can't find it here. I'll find it here as we move on down the road here. But one of the major side effects of this drug is suicidal ideation. And that's a really big, bad voodoo daddy. But and it gets even worse here. Let me continue from this article. I'm pulling this off of Wikipedia, by the way. Just go to Wikipedia and do a Google for Lunesta. Do a Wikipedia search for Lunesta. In a 2009 article in the New England Journal of Medicine, lost in transmission FDA drug information that never reaches clinicians, it was reported that the largest of 3 Lunesta trials found that compared to placebo, Lunesta was superior to placebo, while it only shortened initial time of falling asleep by 15 minutes on the average. Clinicians who are interested in the drug's efficacy cannot find efficacy information in the label. It only states that Lunesta is superior to placebo. The FDA's medical review provides efficacy data, albeit not until page 306 of the 403-page document. In the longest, largest phase 3 trial, patients in the Lunesta group reported falling asleep an average of 15 minutes faster and sleeping an average of 37 minutes longer than those in the placebo group. However, on average, Lunesta patients still met the criteria for insomnia and reported no clinically meaningful improvement in next-day alertness or functioning. So you take Lunesta, you're going to fall asleep faster, you're going to have about a half an hour longer sleep, but the quality of the sleep isn't really any better than it was without the drug, and you open yourself up to massive side effects, and I mean massive side effects, not the least of which is suicidal ideation. I mean, that's a big deal, right? We have trouble falling asleep, and so you go to your MD. You trust that your MD knows what's best for you. Your MD tells you what to do. Go take Lunesta, and you go out in the woods and try to kill yourself. I found the reference here. Overdose of Lunesta is dangerous. Signs of Lunesta overdose include dulled mental status, coronary vasospasm, heartbeat, funky heartbeat, and heart attack, coma, prolonged coma, lasting up to 48 hours. The Texas Poison Control Centers reported that from 2005 to 2006, there were 525 Lunesta overdoses recorded in the state of Texas. 525 Lunesta overdoses reported in the state of Texas, the majority of which, you ready? Are you sitting down? The majority of which were intentional suicide attempts. 525 people overdosed on Lunesta and tried to kill themselves. Well, not all 500 did, but the majority did. Tried to kill themselves because they trusted their MD. And their MD told them that this is what they needed to do in order to help themselves fall asleep, and it doesn't really change the overall architecture of the insomniac condition. It just makes you fall asleep 15 minutes faster and maybe have 30 minutes of extra sleep, but the quality of your life isn't really changed, and you go out in the woods and try to shoot yourself. And I'm the quack. You got to be kidding me, ladies and gentlemen, which leads me to think, well, what's up with that? You stick around. On the other side of the break, I'll tell you how to support and promote your body's ability to fall asleep naturally. Stick around. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, pulling back the curtain on the way that the MDs think. Now, according to the MD, if you have trouble falling asleep, that's just life. And, you know, your body is of biochemical happenstance. It's a random amalgamation of biochemicals that happened millions of years ago in a Jurassic Park swamp, and your body has really no inherent intelligence to it. It's all just a random conflagration of biochemicals, and when something goes wrong with the body, well, that's just life. It was only a matter of time because the body is an imperfect thing, and your only choice is to let the doctor march in and institute a hostile takeover of the biochemistry of your body to push the biochemistry of your body in certain directions with pharmaceutical drugs and or surgery. So if you have trouble falling asleep, the MD gives you a sedative, right? They'll give you a hypnotic sedative, and they don't care what the side effects are, because as far as they're concerned, the doctor is God. Life is just one big giant experiment, and, you know, well, if you suffer the side effects of a drug, too bad. You're just going to contribute to medical science, and it's kind of collateral damage, and what the heck, right? What the heck? They don't care. And also, they don't believe that your body has a natural God-given intelligence, nor does it possess the ability to manage its own affairs and fix itself once there's a problem. So they don't believe that once you have insomnia, that there's anything that you can do to fix it except taking a drug to manage it. As far as they're concerned, you can't cure insomnia. You can't cure anything. It just has to be managed. And how do they do it? They manage it with synthetic hypnotic drugs, sedatives. Messes with your biochemistry. I mean, that's like drinking alcohol to make yourself feel better, right? I mean, that's one cure for depression, right? Isn't that a treatment for depression? Drink alcohol, feel better? Well, it's kind of sort of the same thing. Oh, you can't sleep, just take this sedative hypnotic. It'll knock you right the heck out. Yeah, it'll also make you march into the woods and shoot yourself, too. Well, sorry, that's just the way that it is, and that's collateral medical damage, and sorry. Life isn't perfect. So, On the other side of the coin, thank God, there's the holistic approach. And the holistic approach argues, and it doesn't matter which holistic discipline it is, all holistic approaches have one thing in common, the fundamental belief that the body knows how to fix itself, that the body has intelligence, that the body is working all of the time in its best interest, that the body is attempting all of the time to optimize, stabilize, and reach something called homeostasis. The body is attempting to optimize its function all of the time. So, from our point of view, which is a sane point of view, which is a rational point of view, which is a point of view which is consistent with the reality of being a human being, and by the way, is science-based and clinically verified, we understand that a healthy person falls asleep naturally, sleeps for however long they want to sleep or need to sleep, and then they wake up. This is a natural part of life. And if you're not sleeping, that's a symptom. It's no different than a headache, that's a symptom, or an ulcer, that's a symptom, or an arthritic knee, that's a symptom, or eczema, that's a symptom, or not enough energy, that's a symptom, right? Any symptom that you experience anywhere in your body is an indication. It's like the check engine light is on the dashboard. Something is not right. Something needs to be adjusted. Something needs to be attended to. Something needs to be fixed. Well, the MD doesn't think you can fix it. They just think you can manage it. So they throw sedative hypnotics at you like freaking Halloween candy. It's nonsense. So most of the time, from our point of view, if you have trouble falling asleep, that's due in large part to calcium and magnesium deficiencies, because your body needs calcium and magnesium in order to regulate its sleep and waking cycle. And if you're deficient in calcium and magnesium enough to give you insomnia, 5 will get you 10. You're also deficient in a number of the other essential nutrients as well, because essential nutrients are like pack animals. They travel in packs. And if you're deficient in a canful of them, you're deficient in a lot of them. That's just the way that it is. We don't have to do fancy schmancy testing. We don't have to do thousands of dollars of diagnostic discovery. We just give your body the stuff that it needs to optimize its function, in this case your sleep cycle, and get out of the way and see what happens. Now, if you have trouble staying asleep, if you wake up in the middle of the night, it's 3 o'clock, you fall asleep at 11, you wake up at 2 or 3, wide awake, that's a problem with sugar metabolism most of the time. So it's either a calcium deficiency or a sugar metabolism problem, and sometimes there's other stuff going on into the bargain. But these are the bases you must cover first, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that when we come back. Guess what? I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here. What's up with that? Tuesday, we're talking about Lunesta here in the first hour. I just want to dial in an effective sleep optimization program, and then we'll go right to the phones. Renee from Boston is up first. So in order to optimize your body's natural ability to sleep when it's supposed to and wake when it's supposed to, it's a good idea to provide your body with all of the essential nutrients that it needs and eliminate caffeine of any shape or form, even decaf. You can't decaffeinate anything 100%. Even decaf anything, decaf tea or decaf coffee still has caffeine in it, and some people are very sensitive to it. So if you're having trouble with sleep in any way, shape, or form, if that's something that you need to get on the other side of, whether you can't fall asleep or you're waking up in the middle of the night, you have to stop all caffeine and decaf drinks. Period. Just have to stop it. You can have caffeine-free whatever you want. You can have caffeine-free tea, but you can't have coffee anymore, not until you get on the other side of the insomnia issues. You can go crazy with caffeine-free whatever you want. Just don't have anything that has caffeine in it and nothing decaffeinated at all. And I don't, 24 hours a day. So you can't have your morning's coffee. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You have to get all caffeine out of your body. It takes about a week for that to happen, more or less. So, number 1, go caffeine-free. Number 2, give your body the raw materials that it needs. So if the problem is falling asleep, then the recommendation to support and promote a healthy sleep cycle is 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. and 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium, or 2 a month. And I'd like you to take 1, 2, or 3 ounces of white liquid calcium immediately before bed. You can throw that down, mix it with a little water, mix it with a little orange juice, mix it with a little pineapple juice, whatever you need. If you're 100 pounds, do 2 ounces before bed. If you're 200 pounds, do 3 ounces before bed for 2 weeks, 14 days. You're going to be taking the other supplements throughout the day, but I want you to go crazy with your calcium immediately before bed and see if that doesn't kick you into a normal sleep cycle. Because it's kind of like the trains come off of the track, and your body needs to get back on the track. It needs to get back in sync with its circadian rhythm, with its sleep-waking cycle. And by giving your body extra calcium up front for a couple of weeks, it often helps to jumpstart that quite effectively. And then once you've been falling asleep regularly for a couple of weeks, you can dial back the calcium dosage to a maintenance dose, right, which is 1 healthy start pack, which includes 1 bottle of the white liquid calcium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Now, if the problem is waking up in the middle of the night and you're wide awake, then here's what you need to do as a kind of a first intervention. You got to give yourself blood sugar support. How do we do that? Well, guess what? A healthy blood sugar pack is a really very good place to start. So the recommendation would be 1 healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles of selenium a month. And after 6 p.m., no carbohydrates. No rice, no potatoes, no fruit, no dessert, no alcohol, no fruit juice, except you can have a little bit I don't even want you to do that. If the problem is waking up in the middle of the night, then I want you to take the evening's calcium dose with water, not with juice. The evening's calcium dose with water, not with juice. And after 6 p.m., no carbohydrates, no sugar, no anything sweet. 0 tolerance for 14 days. See what happens. And this is a comprehensive, holistic thing, right? So it's not just... we're not just hoping to regulate your sleep and waking cycles. We're hoping to optimize your body across the board by providing it with fundamental medical nutrition. So while you're doing this program, in addition to looking to see what happens to your sleep cycle, also look to see what happens to your mood, your energy, your appetite, your sex drive, your weight, everything. Because this is a comprehensive, holistic intervention. Give your body the stuff that it needs nutritionally. Stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Get out of the way and see how far back your body bounces. This is a very, very good strategy. It's most effective most of the time. Every once in a while we'll come up against somebody who, they do this and it doesn't work. But it's the exception, not the rule. And usually people that are having trouble falling asleep in our program doesn't provide a solution. It's because there's other stuff at play, like drugs, pharmaceutical stuff that they have to get on the other side of. So, in any event, give that a try. See how it makes you feel. And remember, your MD might be the nicest human being on the planet, but your MD does not know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in, as far as medicine goes, is an out-of-date, obtuse, dangerous, ineffective, therapeutic philosophy, which doesn't think that the body can fix anything. It's your medical doctor isn't trained to fix anything. They're just trained to manage things with drugs and surgery. And, when it comes to chronic disease, that is a fool's errand most of the time. All right, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933 is the number to call to speak with me live. Just like Renee from Boston did, let's go to my old stomping ground, Beantown, and see what Renee is up to. Hey, Renee, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, Renee. What's happening?
Okay. Well, first of all, my son, he's 13. He has strep throat all the time. He's getting, and he's got a pretty good diet. I follow all of your rules, but he ends up with a strep throat. I can't keep him from sugar, and he's a kid. But I do my best, so I don't know why he keeps getting it. Last year he had his appendix out, and he had constipation for about a year, off and on, and so we had problems with his digestion, I guess. So
is he gluten-free? Did you make him gluten-free yet?
He's pretty much now, because I am, and what he doesn't get it at home. So.
Well, maybe when he's down near Harvard Yard, he gets a little pizza on the side. What do you think there, Skipper? Maybe I think that's right.
He does do the pizza.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. So, from our point of view, chronic infections anywhere in the body, chronic strep infection, chronic sinus infection, chronic influenza, viral infections, herpetic outbreaks, whatever. From our point of view, chronic infections are an indication of an immune system that's weak. And immune system weakness traces back to nutrient deficiencies and not enough protein in the blood, because the immune system is made from protein. Now, it can also be related to too much sugar in the blood, because remember, sugar is your friend. Your DNA is made from sugar. Your very genetic material is made from sugar. You couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Your body loves and needs sugar. If sugar was a woman, your body would marry it. It would. You and me and everybody else needs sugar. However, the standard American diet is way loaded with way too much sugar. And if there's too much sugar in your bloodstream at any moment in time, the operative words here being too much, it puts a part of your immune system to sleep, which leads to one of life's greatest ironies, or this isn't irony, this is one of life's greatest misconceptions, that drinking orange juice is a good thing to do to help you get over a cold. It's one of the worst things that you can do, because the sugar in the orange juice is going to actually depress your immune function. The vitamin C that's in the orange juice isn't going to do very much at all, but the sugar will, in fact, depress the immune system. So went off on a little tangent there. So what needs to happen is that, he's a kid, he's 13, and what the heck, and all we can really do with him is intervene when he gets a strep throat, right? So what I would do to support and promote the structure and function of his immune system during throat infection would be, what's his body weight, more or less, do you know?
He has a pretty deep cough with it, too. He's 100 pounds.
100 pounds. All right, so I'd give him 6 kilobiotic a day. 6 kilobiotic a day, 2, 4, 6. I'd give him 8. I'd give him 2 with each meal, and I'd give him 2 before bed. I'd give him 2 with each meal, and I'd give him 2 before bed. And on the dose before bed, I'd have him eat half a banana, just so he doesn't burp that stuff up in the middle of the night, right? So 8 kilobiotic all day long, and get the colloidal silver. Go to CVS or Walgreens or somewhere over there near Harvard Yard and get a spray bottle and put the colloidal silver in the spray bottle and spray it in the back of his throat every hour. Have him set his little Timex watch to beep on the hour, and when it beeps, he reaches into his pocket or gets the colloidal silver or whatever and sprays it into the back of his throat 2 or 3 times every hour. Colloidal silver, colloidal silver, colloidal silver, colloidal silver, and a diet that's high in protein. Now, is he taking, the Healthy Start Pack? Is he taking any of the supplements?
He's taking... I have a problem with the Tiny Tangerine. I've already called you for that. And I tried it cold, too. It did a little bit better, but it's still... Yeah. I didn't give it to him, but I do give him the Ultimate Classic, since I saw a lot of the stuff in that too.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to do. Does he like that?
Oh yeah, he doesn't give me a problem with it. So we both take that every day.
Well, that's Wicked Pissa. That's right there. The Wicked Pissa there, the Ultimate Classic. I think that's great. I think we should go down. Next time you're driving down the road, go down there till it gets wicked wide and then bang a left and get some more of that stuff. It's pretty good stuff right there.
When are you coming to Boston?
Never. I will never come back to Boston. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. Not in the winter, I can tell you that much. Not in the summer either, so it'll probably be the spring or the fall.
Okay.
But look, keep give him some selenium. Also, give him selenium. At 100 pounds, I'd give him 6 selenium a day. Between meals if you can, but selenium would also be helpful here. And the next time he gets in a strep infection, avoid the antibiotic. Do the colloidal silver, the killer biotic, and a diet that's high in protein. And hopefully, as he goes down the road and he gets more nutrition into his body more of the time, he's going to turn a corner and kind of grow out of the weakened immune phase with the help of good, new-fashioned medical nutrition. Thanks for the phone call, Renee. We're up against the hard break. I have to move on. Best of luck up there in Beantown. Yeah, it's my old stomping ground, ladies and gentlemen. Born and raised in Massachusetts. Went to college in Massachusetts. Oh, my God, I've got some stories I could tell about Massachusetts. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. We're going to go to Chicago and talk to Arturo when we come back. If you're listening to the podcast, 855-347-3696 is the number to call, 855-347-3696. Let's go to Chicago and talk to Arturo. Hey, Arturo, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Yes, hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah, I've been having a lot of anxiety, fast heart rate. I get a lot of, sweaty hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been taking some magnesium, but I feel like my heart beats weak sometimes.
Yeah. You got anything else going on, besides this? I mean, was this kind of an acute thing that showed up out of nowhere? You've been dealing with this on and off for a long time.
No, well, I've been having, different types of symptoms, like chest pains, shortness of breath, my hands. I get, really anxious.
For how long? I mean, has this been going on a couple of weeks, a couple of months? Yeah.
Months.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Have you been to anybody to have them do a diagnostic or listen to your heart or do anything?
Well, I went to the emergency room. They told me that everything was fine. Everything was fine with my heart, and the doctor didn't know what was wrong. So I knew he was, he didn't know what he was talking about.
How much did they? Yeah. How much did that cost you, by the way, when you went to the emergency room? Do you have any idea?
Wow, I don't know, probably $2,000 just to go in there.
Yeah, $2,000.
I remember a lot of money.
Yeah, they didn't do anything for you, right? I mean, they didn't do anything for you, right? Yeah. So, I mean, if you went to, you had a problem with your car or your truck, and you take your car to the dealership, right? And they tell you that, you need new brakes and you need a new transmission, and you give them $2,000, and they don't do anything. They don't put new brakes in. They don't give you new transmission. You'd be ripped, and you'd call somebody, and you'd have an investigation done. But when the MDs do all this nonsense and take your money and don't give you anything for it, I mean, what the heck? This happens all of the time. I talk a lot about on this show the reason or the MD's philosophical orientation on medicine is really just nuts. But what I don't talk enough about is incompetence before the fact. Just good old-fashioned incompetent diagnostic, and just the lack of knowledge, man. It's scary how incompetent most MDs are. So from our point of view, Arturo, the first thing to do when you're dealing with anxiety is to support and promote the function of the central nervous system in the body. It's the first thing to do. Now, in order to do that, you need more than just magnesium, although you're on the right. I like the way that you think. You were kind of going in the right direction there, but there's more that you need to do. So, in my opinion, how much do you weigh, man?
I weigh 185.
All right. So the best way to do this would be with one healthy brain and heart pack, and 2 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX. One healthy brain and heart pack and 2 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX a month for 3 months. Now, I'm going to bet you 25 cents that it's not going to take 3 months for you to feel anything. It's going to take a couple of weeks for this program to kick in and for your body to start to relax kind of sort of from the inside out. You know, sometimes there's a psychological component to this stuff, but it doesn't sound like it to me based upon your history and your symptoms. It sounds like a very straightforward nutritional thing. It's kind of like your lack of nutrients has finally caught up with you, and it's causing all kinds of funky symptoms. Now, the good news is that the MDs, having looked at this, said that there's nothing really bad, right? And that's a good thing, right? You know, you weren't having a heart attack, and blood pressure's fine, and everything else is good. So
no, the blood pressure was high.
The blood pressure was high.
Yeah,
well,
it was high.
That's a calcium deficiency, okay? So I want you to get a healthy brain and heart pack and 2 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX. Take them every day for 2 weeks and then call me back. How'd you hear about this radio program, Arturo?
Well, I heard it on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. All right, so let me give you a number to call, and you can get the stuff at the wholesale price. So call this number, otherwise you're going to get reamed on the price of this stuff if you just go to the Internet. So call this number, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. We'll hook you up with the right stuff at the wholesale price, and life is good. Stick around, folks. Hour 2 coming up after these messages.